In the Kursk region, a large concentration of North Korean troops has been spotted once again. They have seized a small foothold and are preparing for a new attack, gradually building up their forces. They arrived at their foothold in small groups, where they had fortified positions. Some were taken out with FPV drones. The drones clearly captured the soldiers' Asian appearance, proving that they were not Russian. One of the Koreans pretended to be dead, but the video clearly shows that he was alive, and that he was a North Korean. They even managed to hit a Ukrainian armored personnel carrier that was trying to counter them. It's possible that the IFV hit a mine previously planted by the North Koreans. But a big surprise awaited them ahead. Ukrainian forces launched an airstrike on their foothold, firing multiple rockets. Most of the North Koreans were eliminated, but those who had hidden well in underground shelters managed to survive. Then, Ukrainian special forces moved in to clear the foothold. They offered the Koreans a chance to surrender, but unfortunately, they didn't understand either Russian or Ukrainian. The North Koreans fought to the last. The Ukrainians bombarded their trenches with grenades and unleashed heavy machine gun fire. They will remain in the trenches, thousands of kilometers away from their homeland. Their relatives will never know their fate or what truly happened to them. Fortunately, we have the opportunity to preserve the memory of our own family history, thanks to the sponsor of today's video, MyHeritage. One of the members of our team registered on myheritage.com and made an exciting discovery. It turned out he has roots in Ireland, Scotland, England, and France. And thanks to powerful tools like instant discoveries, he quickly created and expanded his family tree, which allowed him to find records of new relatives from over 33 billion historical sources. But the most fascinating part is that MyHeritage helped him find real relatives in other countries, relatives he never even knew existed. Our colleague reached out to his newly discovered relatives, and they were both amazed and overjoyed. It became a new chapter in his life. Moreover, cutting-edge AI technologies have unlocked incredible possibilities for a member of our team. He uploaded old photos of his grandmother's sister, and within minutes, MyHeritage restored them, added color, and even brought this vivid moment from the past to life. It was absolutely amazing. Don't miss your chance. Right now, get a 14-day free trial for the MyHeritage Complete Plan. Just follow the link in the description and start your journey into the past. And now, let's return to the battlefield where another North Korean assault is underway. Russia is using North Korean soldiers for assault operations that resemble the tactics of 1914 during World War I. This time, a reconnaissance drone spots a landing zone where a large number of North Korean troops are stationed. In small groups, they move toward Ukrainian positions. Noticing the drone, some soldiers freeze in place, standing motionless. Ukrainian forces begin defending their positions, opening fire on the enemy. Look, despite their numerical advantage, the North Korean troops managed to get within 20 meters. But the Ukrainian fighters remain composed and prevent them from getting any closer. Several Ukrainian APCs move in to reinforce the position, while an IFV provides covering fire, suppressing the North Korean troops. Thanks to this, the armored vehicles reach the designated point without obstacles, and the Ukrainian troops successfully evacuate, most importantly, without any losses or wounded among the personnel. However, the same cannot be said for the dozens or even hundreds of North Korean soldiers who will remain on Ukrainian soil, thousands of kilometers away from their homeland. For a clearer understanding, let's take a look at this map. The North Korean troops involved in the war against Ukraine are stationed in Russia's Kursk region, which is under the control of the Ukrainian army. Further behind the Russian lines, the local population is also suffering due to the presence of these North Korean units. A Ukrainian drone documents how an armed North Korean soldier breaks into a civilian house and forces two elderly women onto the street. Judging by his active gestures, it can be inferred that he is telling them, "I will live here now," and they must leave, regardless of where they will go, even in the midst of the snowy cold winter. Eventually, noticing the drone, he hides inside the building, leaving the women in an helpless situation. However, these elderly women likely have a backup home, as the Russian population supported their president's decision, who, after 25 years in power, grew bored and recently expressed his desire for some action.
Хочется движухи.
However, for most Russian soldiers, the action ends the same way. They get stuck in the war. Like this soldier who got tangled in barbed wire during a hopeless attempt to capture another meter of Ukrainian land. The drone hovering above him ensures that he will stay in this spot forever. Many of the North Korean soldiers participating in the war are among the best trained special forces. But the Russians seem to have used them as regular infantry, sending them in waves across mine-laden fields. Moreover, in most cases, they had no support even from light armored vehicles, which allowed Ukrainian troops in defense to take pre-prepared firing positions and unleash heavy fire on the DPRK forces. Ukrainian soldiers also note that North Korean troops lack a proper understanding of modern warfare, particularly the threat posed by drones, making them easy targets. This is evident from documents found on a fallen soldier, which contained written instructions and schematic drawings on how to take down UAVs. After decoding the text, it became clear that this tactic was based on the use of a live decoy. However, this approach proved to be a failure. Ukrainian forces countered the tactic by isolating and exhausting the lone soldier using a drone, and at the right moment, delivering a precise strike. Credit must be given to the high level of North Korean propaganda and the cult of personality, which drive the vast majority of North Korean soldiers to avoid capture by choosing a brutal end. Here is an excerpt from the translation of a diary found on a soldier who, for some reason, believed he was defending North Korea in the Kursk region, 7,000 kilometers from Pyongyang. "I will go to the front line in this operation, and I will unconditionally follow the orders of Supreme Commander Kim Jong-un, even if it costs me my life." However, not everyone is lucky enough to give their life for the leader. On January 11, 2025, the first two North Korean soldiers were captured, provided with medical assistance, and thoroughly interrogated. Interestingly, one of them said he would do whatever he was told, but if given the chance, he would like to stay and live in Ukraine, while the other said he wanted to return to North Korea, despite the fact that he would most likely face the death penalty under the law for disobeying orders. North Korean soldiers who participated in combat against Ukraine on the side of the Russian army in the Kursk region of Russia were withdrawn from the front lines after significant losses among their personnel. This was reported by the New York Times, citing Ukrainian and American officials. However, U.S. officials stated that the decision to withdraw North Korean troops from the front lines may not be final. In their view, it is quite possible that the North Koreans will return after additional training, or once the Russians find new ways to deploy them in order to avoid such significant losses. On the other hand, according to Ukrainian intelligence, the North Korean troops have not been withdrawn from the Kursk region. It is reported that around 8,000 North Korean mercenaries continue to fight in the Kursk area, although their activity has significantly decreased in recent times. This is also confirmed by Volodymyr Zelensky. Here's what he stated in his latest statement regarding this sector.
Підтягнули знов північнокорейських солдатів, значна кількість окупантів знищена. Йдеться про сотні російських і північнокорейських військових.
By the way, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. Do you think North Korean troops will really stop their involvement in the war? Or is it just a temporary regrouping or a tactical move? Your assumptions and analysis of the situation will be really interesting. Fierce battles continue on Ukrainian territory as well. Without any strategic sense, the Russians persist in their offensive, taking new positions despite suffering heavy and unjustified losses. 5 IFVs are immediately involved in the assault on the village. However, even as they approach, Ukrainian drones lock onto them, delivering strikes. The first vehicle sustains critical damage, and the infantry is exposed in open terrain. In panic, the soldiers begin scattering in different directions. Another vehicle is blown up by a mine. It takes several drones to completely burn down another one. Out of the 5 IFVs, only 2 manage to approach the village. Just as the lead vehicle nears its target, it hits a mine and explodes. The only remaining intact IFV deploys its troops, who rush towards the buildings to secure positions. The drone delivers several precise strikes on the vehicle, while Ukrainian artillery locks onto the area and begins launching pinpoint strikes. The coordinated use of various firepower assets left no chance for the success of this Russian assault. The Russian crew chose a rather open area to fire from, which the Ukrainian forces quickly took advantage of. Upon spotting the drone, the Russians began fleeing as far as possible. While this decision saved their lives, they'll now have to make their way back to base on foot. At first glance, this seems like a routine attack by Ukrainian drones on Russian equipment. But take a closer look at the vehicle nearby. The drone strikes. It sustains damage that jams its mechanism, causing it to uncontrollably discharge a large caliber magazine into the air. Admit it, such a spectacle is rare, and even more so when it gets captured on video. In this video, Russian soldiers ride a children's scooter in a bombed village, gloating over the grief of civilians, having stolen someone's childhood. In another video, other soldiers steal a bicycle from the locals to have a laugh. And after destroying someone's possession, they simply throw it in the trash and continue to destroy everything in their path. This is just one of thousands of similar incidents. In a video from the Kursk region, 2 elderly pensioners helplessly watch as Russian soldiers steal their food. The Russian army is robbing its own people, leaving them without means of survival. They take canned goods from the cellar of frightened Russians, who have no choice but to record this on their phones. And in the end, the soldiers felt they hadn't stolen enough yet, so they took the owner's goat, leaving them with nothing. And now, we'd like to thank the sponsor of our video once again, MyHeritage. With this service, you can, just like our team member, uncover the unique history of your family. Start your journey into the past right now. Click the link and get 14 days for free.